Well, it's been about 2.5 weeks since my last video. This is part 4 of the making of the Dragon Eye bracelet. This is my original one. This I made a few months ago. It's held up quite well. The stone is petrified wood. Some people call it agatized. Some people call it, well, I think there's a bunch of different names for it. But it basically was wood at one time. The skin is made of copper. The impressions are basically repose and chasing. It's one of my favorite things to do. And today I'm going to go through the process of making the leather bracelet, the leather component of the bracelet. So let's go ahead and get started. Each bracelet is a little different, and I have to make the leather component based on the eye. So what I normally do is I figure, okay, I don't think this is going to fit on someone with a wrist that's larger than 10 inches in diameter or in circumference. So I go ahead and mark. I mark 10 inches on each side. I put it about the 5-inch mark, and go ahead and make a line there and make a line there. Those will be my two extremes. And then I try to determine how wide it's going to be. I'd like to make it just a tiny bit wider than, let me go ahead and get my halfway point. I like to make it just a tiny bit wider than the bracelet itself. So I put that about right there. And I'm going to go ahead and mark here and here. And then I'm going to draw lines parallel to each other, well, as close as I can, parallel to each other. And then I'm going to cut it out. That looks pretty good. Doesn't have to be exact, but close. And I'll go ahead and square this off. And square this off. Now I could cut it a couple of different ways. Usually I prefer an X-Acto knife, and I think that's what I'm going to use this time. Actually, it's not an X-Acto knife, it's more like a carpet cutter. Let me go find it. There it is. Alright, perfect. Alright, let's go into the next step. Okay, now that I've got my rough cut leather, I need to figure out how wide I need to cut this to make it into into the bracelet. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure this, and that comes out to 7/8, roughly 7/8 of an inch. Okay, so I'm going to keep that in mind. I'll keep that 7/8 in mind, and then I'm going to measure here, and that comes out to 2 1/8. And 2 1/8. So if I get 2 1/8, I take 2 inches and 1/8 and divide that in half. That comes out to 1 1/16. So I take my measurement here, and as you can see, I don't know if you can see it or not, but I did this once, but I kind of messed it up. I took my measurements from the wrong spot. So here is 1 1/16 right here. Okay, that's going to be the center. I do the same over here. Measuring from the top down, 1 1/16. Now, I'm going to go ahead and draw a line through the center with a pencil. Just a light line, just like that. Okay, that's my halfway point. Now, if I take this 1 1/16, let's see. Now I'm getting a little gun shy here. 1 1/16. Okay, let's take 7/8. 7/8 of an inch. Divide that by 2. That will equal 7/16. So if I take this and I put a mark, I go from my inch and I go down 7/16. 8/16 is a half of an inch. So there is one mark. And there is another mark right there. And I measure that up from the center line. I'm going to go over here and I'm going to do the same thing. Go to my center line, measure down 7/16, measure up 7/16, and I should be right smack in the middle with 7/8, and I am. Okay, so now I'm going to draw a line. I'm going to erase this previous line. That's what I get for going on camera without thinking things through. But as long as you get there. So let's connect some lines here and get a 7/8 inch strip going all the way across. Alright, that looks a lot better. Whole lot better. And I also know that my center is right here. So I'm going to take this, put it right in the middle with a little bit of leather overlapping the top and the bottom. And I'm going to just scribe a little line right here. Take it, scribe a line over here. Alright. Now that's my outer limits of the eye. Set that aside. Now, I don't know if I mentioned this before, but I like to have a little bit of a flare right just before the leather meets the eye. If you can see here, there's a little bit of a flare. It tapers. It goes from a full width and tapers down, following the contours of the metal, and then it tapers down into that 7/8 inch part. So that right there, and it's kind of a, this is not an exact science. Okay, that looks pretty good. Now I have a pretty good idea of where the eye is. Now I can, by hand, by eye, just flare it in. Just like that. And the same thing over here. They're not going to be identical, but that's okay. That looks pretty good. Actually, that one doesn't look so good. Let's get down here. That's better. That's better. That's better. All right. Now to cut it out. I'll be right back. Sometimes I use scissors to cut this out, but today I think I'm going to go ahead and just use the Stanley, I don't know, I call it a carpet cutter. I'm just going to go lightly, just so I can get my lines. Alright, that is basically the rough cut. Now what I need to do is make it symmetrical. Make it as symmetrical as I possibly can. And I'm going to look at it like this. And I need to round off right here. Good. And I need to come in just a hair right here. And then round that off. And this kind of come around here, round that off. round this off. Take this in a little bit more. Alright, that should do it. That looks pretty good. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and just sand these down a little bit, and I'll be right back. Okay, at this point, I'm going to go ahead and stain this, and I'll be ready to rivet this on. I can trim it after the initial staining, and I can center it before I actually rivet it on. But I'm going to go ahead and do that now. It's not bad at all. I like it. I use a product called EcoFlow leather dye. It's a Tandy product, and I kind of like it. It gives it a nice brown, kind of a soft brown color to it, and it's not a big deal to apply it. I got some daubers, these little they attach to a wire, and they're kind of cotton. They're for doing this, but I don't like it. I don't like them. I don't know why. I just rather paint it on. It's the little inexpensive Harbor Freight brush, and I don't know, just personal preference. Actually, I'm probably going to have to redo these edges, because once the the dragon's eye is on the leather, I'm going to look it over and decide what needs to be trimmed up a little bit, and that can be both the eye itself, the dragon's eye itself, and the leather, because I just want it to be I want it to look balanced and symmetrical, and it's hard to do until you have it all put together. So let's let this dry, and I'll be right back. I like to use these little copper rivets. These are too long, so what I end up doing is cutting off a part of it, re-tapering this edge, and I'll do that with two of them, one on each side, just like this. This is the back side. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, this is the back side, and the rivet goes through here, and then what I'll do is I'll peen it over, and it'll fix it. It'll fix it right into place, and it kind of looks kind of cool too. Because these rivets or too long, what I do is I'll scribe a small line and I'll just cut it to the desired length. So what I'll do is I'll just put these in a vice grip like that, lay it on my bench, and just go ahead and cut it off. They only have to be roughly even, or roughly the same length. And I don't need very much protruding out through the other side to peen. And that should do it right there. Yeah. Okay. Now, hopefully these are about the same height, and yeah, they're close enough. Now I'm going to go ahead and bevel this edge so that it slides through the leather and the metal smoothly. I'll be right back. Okay, the next step is to more or less center this on the leather. Doesn't have to be exact. I've got an ant infestation here. Oh man. The little crazy ants. We've been invaded by the little black crazy ants. They don't bite. Not like the red ants we used to have, but they're still a nuisance. So I'm going to scribe a little line here and a little line here, and that's going to kind of give me an idea of where we are. Now, what I want to do is take a marker, take a metal marker. Let's see here. I think I'm going to use this titanium etcher. And I'm going to basically make a little X where I'm going to put a hole. I'm going to drill a hole right there. That's where one of the rivets is going to go, and just opposite that, where another rivet is going to go. Alright, now I'm going to take my punch and I'm going to kill an ant first, and I'm going to put a mark right there, if I can. There we go. Good. And I'm going to do the same to the other side. Alright, that's where I'm going to drill. So I'll be right back. What I've done is I went ahead and punched and drilled 1/8 inch holes on two sides. This is where the rivets are going to slide through. Now again, I'm going to line it up as best I can, and go ahead and take my marker, because I'm going to need to drill through the leather also. So I'm marking it there, and I'm marking it over here. I'm also making sure that I have cupped or forced the leather into the shape of the eye, and that's going, when it's riveted, that's going to maintain that shape. So let me go drill the leather, and also what I'm going to do is I want to put a little mark over here to indicate that this is the side where it's going to go. Otherwise, I could have it upside down, and it wouldn't. Well, I could eventually figure it out, but it'd be a hassle. Okay, so let me go drill this leather. Well, as I was getting ready to drill the leather, I thought, wait a minute, I just got a leather punch. So I'm going to punch this out. That's even better. Pow. And that's that one. Just as pretty as can be. And there is that one. So, now I'm going to...
Can I use this?
So here we have this lined up, and I'm going to take one of these rivets and I'm going to push it through the leather first. There we go. Come on, babe. You know what? I think I need a larger hole there. I think I need a larger punch hole. Yeah, I think I do. Let's see. Let me go ahead and move to the next one. Too small, too big. Getting there. Okay, that's it right there. Yeah, that's the next size. Take that and perfect. Okay, got it. Now let's try it again. Put this through there. That fits nicely. And put this through there, and that fits nicely. Well, not exactly. It's not as nice as I would like. I need to ream this out a little bit more, I think. Nope, don't need to. It went right through. And find my other rivet. Goes there, and for some reason I'm all thumbs today. There. Alright. Now let's go over to the to an anvil and let's peen these out. Alright, I'm taking my planishing hammer, planishing side. This is the ball peen side, and I'm just going to set this on this homemade little mini anvil, and I'm not trying to rush it. I'm just going to tap it until it mushrooms down. Now, I don't know if you can see that, but it's already starting to flare. Let's see if I can get that in the camera. It's already starting to flare. I'll continue that. The trick to this is to take your time. There's no rush. You want to mushroom the end of that rivet kind of uniform. You don't want to bend it over. You just want to get it, I believe there's a term for it. I can't think of what the term is right now. But basically I'm compressing the rivet and I'm deforming the rivet only on top. And when I see it going too much to one side, I start working on the other side. And it's little by little, I just take my time. just to be functional. I want it to look nice. So I'm making these little taps all the way around. I'm trying to avoid the actual copper here, the skin, with my taps. And that is just about as far as I can take it. I'm going to take it maybe a little bit further. I'm going to tap on those ends, or the edges I should say. That looks pretty darn good. Let me see if you can see that. Let's see. As compared to the one that nothing's been done to. I'm going to go ahead and do the other one, and I'm going to go ahead and shut the camera off right now, and I'll be right back. Well, that concludes part 4 and the final part of the making of the Dragon's Eye bracelet. The only thing that's left to do here is to fit the snaps, but I can only do that once I know the size of the person who purchases it. Now this one has not been sold, so I'm just waiting. I'm waiting for somebody to take an interest, and yeah, it's definitely for sale. So feel free to contact me. Y'all have a wonderful time, and thank you for your patience. This was kind of a long, drawn-out process, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed it also. Take care.